reindeer with bad manners.
A rude.
Upper Elm Montessori would like to present how the Grinch stole Christmas.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.
The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one knows the reason.
It could have been that his head wasn't screwed on just right.
It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight.
But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas hating the Whos.
Staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his grinchy fingers nervously drumming.
I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow he knew
all the Who girls and boys would break up bright and early and rush for the toys. And then,
Oh, the noise, noise, noise. That's one thing he hated.
the noise.
Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast.
And they feast.
And they feast.
And they feast.
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 They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast.
Which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
And then they did something he liked of all the least. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together, hand in hand. The Christmas bells ringing, they stand hand in hand.
and the Who's would start singing.
They sing. And they sing.
And they sing.
Sing.
And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas scene,
The more the Grinch thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
then he got an idea.
An awful idea.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
The Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and chuckled.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch?
No.
The Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max.
Then he took some red thread and tied a big horn on the top of his head.
Then he loaded some bags
with some old empty sacks,
on a round chocolate sled.
And he hitched up all Max. And the Grinch said,
Giddy up.
and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who lay asleep in their town.
all the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air.
All the Who's were all green and sweet breeze without care.
When he came to the first little house on the square,
This is stop number
the old
1.
Grinchy Claus hissed.
And he clung to the wreath, empty bags in his fist.
Then he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch.
But if Santa could do it,
Then so could the Grinch.
He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings
He grinned.
are the first things to go.
Then he swirled and slunk with a smile most unpleasant.
Around the whole room, he took every present.
Hot guns.
And bicycles,
Roller skates,
Drums.
checkerboards,
tricycles,
popcorn,
and plums.
and he stuffed them in bags.
Then the Grinch very numbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he snuck into the icebox.
And then he took the Who's feast.
He took the Who pudding.
He took the roast beast.
he cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash.
Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the up the chimney with a glue.
And now
Grinned the Grinch.
I will stuff up the tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to show.
When Hart heard a small sound like the kill of a dove.
He turned around fast and saw a small who
Little Cindy Lou Who.
was not more than 2.
The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who got out of bed for a cup of cold water.
She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why aren't you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick he thought up a lie.
He thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot,
They think Santa Claus lied.
there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here.
And his fib fooled the child.
Then he patted her head and he got her a treat and he sent her to bed.
And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuck the tree up.
Then the last thing he took was the rope for their fire.
He went up the chimney, himself the old liar.
On their walls he left nothing but some hooks and some wire.
And the one speck of food that he left in the house was crumb that was even too small for a mouse.
Then he did the same to the other Who's houses.
Leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses.
It was 15:15 dawn.
All the Who's still abed.
All the Who's still snooze.
When he packed up his sled, packed up their presents,
The ribbons.
The wrapping,
The tag.
and the tinsel, the trimming, the trappings.
3,000 feet up.
What's the side of next breakfast?
He rode his load to the tip top to dump it.
Pooh-pooh to the
He
Who's.
was essentially humming.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise
Grinned the Grinch.
that I simply must hear.
So he paused and the Grinch put his hand to his ear and he did hear a sound rising over the snow.
It started in low.
Then it started to grow.
But the sound wasn't sad.
why this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so.
But it was Mary.
Very! He stared down at Whoville.
A Grinch popped his eyes.
Then he shook.
What he saw was a shocking surprise.
Every Who in his Who was tall and small was singing.
Without any presents at all.
He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came.
Somehow or another, it came just the same.
And the Grinch with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow.
Then puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas
He thought.
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
And what happened then?
Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And the minute his heart didn't feel so quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light.
And he brought back the toys.
And the food for the feast. And he himself.
The Grinch are the roast beast. Merry Christmas from the cottage.
Why did Rudolph have a bad grade on his report card?
Why did Rudolph have a bad grade on his report card?
Because he went down in his. Where do snowmen love to dance?
Where do snowmen love to dance?
At the snowball.